Hi, welcome to my channel. I'm Chris, Vinyl Piper. I just got back from a trip to the Northwest to visit my mother. We drove from Los Angeles to Seattle, and we took a few days. We stopped in Southern Oregon, and then in Portland, and then got to the Northwest. I hit about 11 record stores. I spent 4 of the days were going to record stores. The rest was hanging out with the family. I have 47 new records added to my collection. My main goal was to go and find Northwest rock, Northwest psych, just general Northwest music, and any psych I could find along the way. There's too many records to show in one video, so I'm breaking this up into 4 parts. This is part 1, where I hit 2 record stores, and I show a bit about each of the record stores, then show what I grabbed. The other videos, I'll show less about the record store and more about the records. The plan was to hit Fresno first. There was maybe Raging Records, and we did go to Fresno a little bit out of the way, and there was nothing for me. There was nothing good on the wall. There was nothing good in the bins. I really didn't like the store, and I follow them on Instagram, but I guess the day that I was there just wasn't really anything for me, so I didn't pick up anything. We drove on up to Medford, spent the night. Then the next morning, we drove to Eugene. Everyone told me to go to House of Records. Here's some footage from Eugene and House of Records.
The birds are singing, such a pretty day. My life is beginning a new way. On this new day, warmth is all around, although it's cold out. People everywhere are starting to find out there's love everywhere. There's love everywhere. There's love everywhere.
The only thing I grabbed from House of Records was Golden Earrings. This came out in 1970. They call it the Wall of Dolls album. That's what it's referred to as. This is the last of the Golden Earring records that I needed from the 60s, even though this came out in 70. And the last lineup they would have until 2 albums later, they would release the track Radar Love and then make it huge. But these guys were from the Netherlands, and I started collecting them with Q64 and the Outsiders, all those great Netherlands bands. Shocking Blue. This is an original Netherlands pressing. Super, super clean. I haven't gotten the opportunity to play it yet, but I'm looking forward to it. They did an album 2 years earlier called 8 Miles High, a cover of the Byrds' 8 Miles High. And it's a really, really good psychedelic trippy version of that. You should check it out if you haven't. After Eugene, we drove Portland, and the first store I hit was called Epic Records. And it wasn't very epic, not for me. It was very clean. It was small. First thing I did was ask the person at the desk, do they have any rare records, any psychedelic records, any Northwest records? And he's like, no. He's like, we did just buy a jazz collection a couple months ago. All that's on our Discogs. So I walked out of there disappointed. I won't be back at Epic Records. The last store on that day in Portland was Tomorrow Records. A bunch of people referred Tomorrow Records to me, and it was great. That was by far my favorite store in Portland. The owner there was really nice. I guess he used to work at Jackpot Records, and he knew all the rare records that I was looking for. I gave him my record collector news list. He knew them all. He said he's had a few of these over the years. He kept going to the back room and bringing something back for me to look at. It was great. He would play the tracks. So I really liked that. I came for the Northwest, but on the wall, the first thing I saw was AC/DC Highway to Hell. This is the Australian version with the different cover. This is the last of the Bon Scott era Australian pressings that I needed. You know, the first pressing, you can tell the first pressing from the others on the Albert label because the label is light blue. The early second pressing, it's black, and I think a couple years later, it is red. This reminds me of junior high. Really happy to get this one. I never see this one. I've seen the others at various stores and on eBay and Discogs, but I never see this particular one. And while I picked that up, I also grabbed For Those About to Rock. It was up on the wall next to it. I guess they got it from the same person. This one is from New Zealand. So this is the New Zealand Albert Productions. This is, I think, the second album with, what's his face? Brian Johnson. The second album, For Those About to Rock, New Zealand. The next one is 1972's Captain Beyond with the lenticular cover. You can't really make it out here. These guys had members, the singer, the original singer of Deep Purple, and it had a couple guys from Iron Butterfly. I have this record, but I didn't have the white label promo of this. I see this record a lot, but I just don't see the promo. So I saw it on the wall and I had to get it. This is one of the last mainstream titles I needed. Lacewing. I have not been able to find this record, and so happy to see it up there on the wall. This one came out in 1971 on the mainstream label. If you followed me, you'll see me showing a lot of mainstream titles. They were normally a jazz label, but they had some rock, some psychedelic type stuff. This album is got a female singer and kind of back and forth between a male and a female singer. It kind of reminds you of Jefferson Airplane, a little bit of Fever Tree, I guess. This band, they were originally called the Measles in Ohio, and Joe Walsh, they were a garage band. Joe Walsh was the guitar player. He left. They brought in another guitar player. His name's Bob Webb, and Bob Webb took over the Measles. And was it the Measles? The Measles took over, they brought in this gal who sang. That band ended. They started Lacewing, recorded this in 71, and they had a single. I forgot the name of the track for the single. And then the band was no more. You never see it. And then the gal and Bob Webb would go on to work with Joe Walsh on some of Joe's solo album. Even though Bob Webb replaced him, he still kept in contact with them, and they got to continue with him. Lacewing.
You used to take long walks with me. You kept me running good. You always built a real nice fire. Used up all the wood. But I guess you felt it was time to go.
The next one the owner pulled out for me is Gary Paul. I know nothing about this. He didn't know anything about this, but it was recorded in Bellingham, Washington, and that's kind of right up my alley. There's no entry for this on Discogs. The album's called Just a Word. Anyone know anything about this album? I was able to pull up not a review, but a mention of this, and a Seattle Times journalist just said it was really good piano playing, but I don't know the music. And on the sleeve that this was in, the guy wrote, "Fairly Rockin' Private AOR from Bellingham, Washington." Gary Paul. So yeah, I'm interested in to spin this. 1979. This one I bought just because of the cover, called Rainbow. This, after looking it up, came out in 1968. It's not the Richie Blackmore Rainbow. This is San Francisco, Los Angeles Sunshine Pop. It is on the GNP Crescendo label, which is the same label that the Seeds were on. This is obviously a white label promo. Rainbow, After the Storm. I've never heard this. The vinyl is really clean. And it definitely has that 1968 feel.
You guys ready? Ready. Yeah. 1, 2, 3.
This one I know absolutely nothing about. It's called The Topics, Living Evidence. I got this strictly because of the cover, and also it was recorded. The engineer was Kearney Barton, and he's the one who engineered all the great band, the Wailers, the Sonics, all the great stuff from the Northwest. And another album recorded in the company from Bremerton, Washington, Topic Record Company. I don't know. Special thanks to KW Barton and the cast, Rex Winter, piano, organ, bass, vocals, effects, and brass, Jim Grittig, guitar, 12-string bass, vocals, brass, Ron Thacker, percussion, effects, vocals, brass. So I know nothing about this. For many months, we've been asked when we would record another album. It takes many weeks of planning, hard work, and studio sessions to produce a product we like to call good. So I'm hoping it's good. I have no idea what year. I would guess this is mid to early 70s. The label, I have no indication on the label. And they do a copy of, or they do a 6-minute version of Louie Louie. Hooked on a Feeling, Summer's Gone Now. Okay, that should be interesting. Anyone know anything about this record? Okay, the last record from Tomorrow Records is Songs from the Source. Yahowa, Songs from the Source. Songs from the Source. Children of the Six Root Race. This is a Source Family record with Father Yod. This is these recordings of Spirit of 76 were made in late 73 in Los Angeles during a practice session for an upcoming gig at the Whiskey A Go-Go. The tape was discovered in a basement in 2006. I've shown a few records of Father Yod, and I don't see him here. This came out in 2008, so this would be an archival record. Father Yod was James Baker, and he lived in a mansion, had lots of women, lots of wives. He would die in 75 or 76, hang gliding. That's all my finds for day one of my trip, going from Los Angeles to Portland. On the next video, I went into a warehouse with 1 million records. It was crazy, and I got some great records. Thanks for watching this one. Like and subscribe. Go to my Instagram, and I will see you on the next video.
To you now, baby.